Okay, so now we're going to go into our woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame, which Matt has put together a special intro for us.
I have, and away we go.
I woke up with an affliction called Bell's palsy, and my entire left side of my face looked like I had a stroke. You think I like that? You think I like that my left eye doesn't open all the way because I got sick? Well, let me tell you how warm-hearted Mr. McMahon is. Mr. McMahon called me into his office, and he fired my ass.
I got my high powers, bitch.
Funky like a monkey, ooh yeah.
I can't hold her, son. I can't hold her. She's breaking him. She's breaking him. Oh my goodness. Oh, the flames. They're burning. Drop and roll, Dad. Drop and roll.
Brett screwed Brett. I have no sympathy whatsoever.
Hogan got his belt and he went the hell home, and I promise everybody or else I'll go in the goddamn grave. You will never see that piece of shit again.
Well, Hulk Hogan, you suck, pal. And we're here to rip ass on the World Wrestling Federation.
You have no balls. The John Cena wall of crap.
Last night on Monday Night Raw, the WWE presented a special tribute show, recognizing the career of Chris Benoit. However, now some 26 hours later, the facts of this horrific tragedy are now apparent.
I have wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans.
Is there a gaping loophole in the WWE's drug testing program?
My 3-year-old can drive a freight train through.
Hell yeah, that dog will hunt.
Hey, welcome to the woojew Hall of Fame. What is this for again?
Wrestling.
Oh, the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame. For what?
Just things.
Oh, the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame of things and stuff for 2008.
All right. So this is
Really, that's what you put together for us?
the best I could do on short notice, sir.
All right. Okay.
He spent all the budget on himself.
You found it? Kick ass.
What did you?
The gun that
found
he wants to buy.
Oh, okay.
We found Megan Fox's boobies. We'll just go with that because it'll be more interesting to our audience. Okay, so what we decided to do is every year WWE does their Hall of Fame inductions, and we decided that 155.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's nice. And we decided that they've really run out of things to induct.
Yeah, like we sat there one night and we really tried to think really, really hard about all the people that they were going to induct this year.
And, I mean, between the deaths and the murders and drugs...
Which are really all pretty much related.
Right. But they pretty much ran out of things to induct.
And the people that Vince McMahon just hates because there was some sort of inappropriate incident with his daughter. You know,
right.
Those things. That'll be inducted in a future Hall of Fame.
Who was that? Was that Randy Savage?
Randy Savage and Stephanie McMahon's inappropriate whatever happened.
Right. Inappropriate mystery.
Once we get more details, we'll use that in another ceremony.
So what we've done is we've taken the major factions that we've all watched, ECW, TNA, WCW, and WWE, and pulled together a list of 10 items, places, people, things that we decided were important to acknowledge as a part of wrestling's past.
Right.
Because WWE will never really ever think
most
to do
of this,
something.
Oh God, if they ever acknowledge any of these...
Yeah, most of these will never ever come up again in any way, shape, or form. So we figure we are
we owe it to the wrestling community to bring these back to the forefront where they belong.
To remind people that
this is what's happened.
Terrible, terrible things happening.
And this is why maybe Vince McMahon should lay off the drugs.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to start. We're going to start with defunct, kind of old time inductees. We're going to start at ECW.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Namely because it's a smaller organization. It's gone now, and fewer people know about it. Do you guys want me to do this one, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll go around.
Okay. Well, the ECW one that we've decided to induct this year is
dun, 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 dun.
Aren't you going to add music in there for that?
Yeah, I'm going to add music in there.
All right, so so ECW, we talked about a lot of options because there was a lot of crazy shit that happened in ECW. I mean, they wrestled in a bingo hall, for God's sakes, and still put out a better product than WWE ever has, but that's just me. So what we've decided to induct is there was a wrestler named New Jack who is very popular in some circles. Especially black circles. And
you racist son of a
bitch. Shut up,
Grand
man.
Dragon.
Jesus.
And so he actually has 5 justifiable homicides.
How does anybody get 1, let alone 5?
That's
5 justifiable homicides.
That's the big. Well, like he explained it in the movie Beyond the Mat. It was either me or him, and I shot him first.
That's pretty much the explanation. So the first first inductee into the 2008 woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame of Things and Stuff.
New Jack's 5 justifiable homicides.
Yay! We need an applause sound too.
So I don't have any sound effects on this one?
We tried it.
We tried, but it's a pain in the ass to click a button every time. You can't figure that out. All right, so next up we're gonna do some TNA action.
Oh, this one we all agreed on, and this one has got to be by far the funniest but stupidest thing I think I've ever heard of.
In TNA, this really topped out at insanity.
Yeah. So the TNA, the inductor that we're putting in there is the Beautiful People.
Wait, but they're hot.
They're very
confused.
hot. Now, hold on. When they don't like certain women in TNA, they've decided to use the brown paper bag treatment. So what we are inducting for TNA's wing is the Beautiful People's brown paper bag treatment.
the first time they did that, I cried. I was like, you gotta be kidding. They come out, they beat somebody, and then they put a brown paper bag that they drew a face on.
Yeah, like
how is that good? How can anybody sit there and go,
because
you know
brown bag in
Undertaker used to put people in body bags
or caskets.
What if they put a brown paper bag over their head? That would be humiliating as fuck.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not. But again, this is why they're being inducted into the TNA's wing of the Hall of Fame.
Right. So now we move on to the big 2 wrestling companies.
Right.
The first up is the defunct WCW, home to thousands of.
I want the first one on the list.
Okay, I figured. I'm going to start from the bottom.
You should probably do number 4 because you know that one.
Yeah.
I know number 1, and that's probably the only one I know.
He can do number 2.
And then he
can.
Right.
Yeah, let me see number 2 because I forgot.
Well, you can do 2 or 3, whichever one you know.
Okay, never mind.
He'll know 2.
Okay.
So there's 3 from WCW. Oh, we missed one from ECW.
No, because we did the TNA one instead.
Okay, so we don't have a 4th from WCW.
Oh.
We need to come up with one.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, while Steven's doing his, we'll
edit this here.
No, just come up with one. Okay. You know WCW probably better than any of us. What was one of the other ones we talked about?
I got a good one.
Okay.
At Bash at the Beach in 2000, I want to say it was 2000. Vince Russo was one of the head bookers at the time, and Hulk Hogan was the WCW champion, and he was defending his...
Sorry, that threw us all off.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
Yeah, sound came through.
Which may not have showed up on
the... Probably Matt and Eric were the only ones there.
Yeah. So everyone else was like, what? So Hulk Hogan was the world champion, and he was defending his title against Jeff Jarrett.
Sounds like a good match.
And Hogan was supposed to be dropping his title to Jeff Jarrett, and there was a whole big debacle because Hogan doesn't like to drop his belt to people he doesn't feel should have the belt.
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da. And Vince Russo was just sick of Hulk Hogan. So...
As we all are.
Yeah. So Vince Russo was basically forcing Hogan to drop the belt. But then it ended up being a whole big to-do where they get to the ring, they get to the match, Jeff Jarrett just lays down for Hogan. So Hogan gets his 1, 2, 3, takes his belt, and leaves. So then Vince Russo comes out and goes, that is the last time you'll ever see that bastard in WCW ever again. Which is true. We never saw him again in WCW. And then he named Jeff Jarrett the champion anyway. And he went on this tirade just talking smack on Hulk Hogan, how much of an egotistical bastard he is, and da-da-da-da-da. And then Vince Russo right then and there decided to have Booker T fight Jeff Jarrett for the belt. And Booker T ended up subsequently winning the title for real. So Hogan just walked out with the belt, but not really retaining it.
Fantastic!
Wow,
this is the kind of shit that happened in WCW.
Yeah, this was like a regular. This was like a regular occurrence. So the WCW's first inductee this year is the Jeff Jarrett, Vince Russo, Hulk Hogan Bash at the Beach. In smorgasbord of fun.
in 2000 and something.
I think it was 2000.
You go and you want me to?
Well, I thought you were going to save yours till last.
Oh no, I just wanted to make sure that I got to do that one because that's the only one I know in WCW.
Okay, you can do that one.
So okay,
yeah, that's fine.
So here, I don't do that. I
just
know
pick.
What it is. So 92, right?
I believe it was 92.
Okay, 92 Halloween Havoc. Whatever genius came up with this marketing plan was fantastic.
It was Kevin Sullivan.
Was it?
Honestly.
That makes sense.
Kevin Sullivan.
So they decide they're going to have an electric chair match. Now...
Stephen, what is an electric chair match?
Well, it's where the loser of the match gets electrocuted in an electric chair.
Which is located in the middle of the ring.
Right.
With a cage on top.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, so... None of that makes sense.
And it's not just an electric chair, it's one of those, like... old-timey Frankenstein-y kind of things.
Yeah, it's...
With gigantic bulbs and...
Yeah, I mean, it was...
outrageous.
The pinnacle of horror debacle. That's what it was. And so, Abdullah the...
You can't even get through it because it was so horrible.
The second inductee for WCW is Abdullah the Butcher getting electrocuted by the electric chair at Halloween Havoc 92.
So he, at some point during the match, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't remember the specific events that led up to it. And honestly, they're not important.
No, just because he got electrocuted in a chair.
Abdullah gets into the chair, and I think it was Cactus Jack or Terry Funk that threw the switch. So they throw the switch, there's a slight delay, and then all of a sudden Abdullah starts convulsing like crazy. Because he's being electrocuted by the chair. And all sorts of lighting effects are going off, and he's sitting there going... Blah, blah, blah.
The end. The Aristocrats. Yeah, I mean, it was just...
And it was named The Aristocrats.
It was terrible as all get out.
All right, moving on.
So, the next... God, I don't know how I can beat that anyway.
That one is pretty fantastic.
But I'll certainly go ahead and try.
Ideas of suck.
Now, when you think of tag teams in WCW...
He pulled it up.
Oh, did he really?
The electric chair match.
Hell yeah.
It's so great.
Now, Matt, you watch WCW just as much as I do. When you thought of tag teams in WCW, who did you normally think of?
Oh, like the Outsiders. I would also think of
the Outsiders.
The American Males.
You know who comes to mind for me is the Harlem Heat.
Yes, the Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat was another good one, but there was one more good one, and it was the Steiner Brothers.
Oh.
The Steiner Brothers were like multi tag team champions.
Now this was pre-Royd. Scott Steiner.
Pre-Royd. What the fuck?
Those were one of those terrible sales.
Sorry, I just had to look because I looked over and I saw that. So anyways, Scott Steiner, didn't really have much to him. But Rick Steiner was the ultimate.
This is true.
Because who else would come out to the ring in wrestling headgear. Not like just any headgear, but the wrestling headgear that you would have worn back in high school.
Well, he was a collegiate, all-American something bullshit.
Yeah, and now he was a pretend wrestler.
And then he was barking like a dog.
Right.
That should have gone along with this.
Well, like his one taunt was the raise his leg like he was peeing on the opponent.
Yes.
Like, really? You're a dog. Your brother is a steroid freak, and you're a dog. Your parents must be proud.
So, with the next induction into the WCW wing of the Hall of Fame, we are inducting Rick Steiner's headgear into the WCW
that one
wing.
needs a pedestal. that motherfucker needs
That's
to
going to
be
go
on
in a
display.
glass case.
Right.
All right, so our last WCW inductee this year is a person. When you think of great WCW personalities, TV personalities, not necessarily wrestlers, but personalities, who would you think of?
Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Bobby Heenan be a good one.
Eric Bischoff.
Very good. What about some females?
Woman.
Alundra Blaze.
Alundra Blaze,
Medusa.
perhaps Medusa or Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
How about Judy Bagwell?
Who in the fuck is that?
Judy,
I mean, like, I know Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell has a mother.
Most people do.
Yeah.
His was named Judy.
Oh, fantastic.
Huh.
Wait, what does she have to do with wrestling?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Was it just because she produced Buff Bagwell? I mean, like, Buff Bagwell came out of her vagina and therefore we overthink.
And you might think maybe she was, at a pay-per-view ringside when he won a belt, and she came in the ring and hugged him.
Right, and maybe something silly happened.
No. She was involved in multiple feuds. She even tag teamed with her son. She fought, I think, against, I want to say, because Rick Steiner is the guy that supposedly really broke Bagwell's neck back in like 97, 98, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Judy Bagwell at one point fought Rick Steiner, I believe. There were multiple matches where Judy Bagwell's safety was at stake as an outcome of the match. Judy Bagwell became a major player in WCW during 1999.
This sounds terrible.
Yes, and it went on for quite some time.
Right.
Wow.
And then, when...
Wait, didn't he eventually go to WWE?
Oh, he did, but Judy came too.
Oh.
So, Buff had one match with WWE on Raw with Booker T. That was the first ever WCW match that happened in WWE. The match itself was not that great. And backstage, a bunch of the road agents were talking about it, like, hey, Buff's performance wasn't so great, da-da-da-da-da. In comes Judy Bagwell to save the day. And apparently...
Well, like any mother would do,
obviously. Here I come to fuck my son!
Exactly. Apparently she pissed them off so much that they let go of Buff right then.
Wow.
And Buff Bagwell has not been seen since.
That is hardcore. Well, when you get fired because of your mom, it's pretty much time to hang up the boots.
Yep.
Right.
What the hell was that?
He's just looking at Judy Bagwell.
All right. So,
it's kind of fun to have Tom on the computer while
I
we
know,
talk.
because he's
pull up random shit.
This is what Matt was supposed to do when he went to the producer job, was this.
But I never sat there, so I couldn't do
you're
it.
an idiot.
Oh, okay.
You're not as funny as
So
Tom.
now we move on to WWE.
Yay!
Home
Yay!
of the crippest crapples ever. Steven, take your pick.
Oh, okay. I had to read what that said.
Oh, sorry.
It's written in Jew scrawl.
Jew scrawl.
It's called Jew Scratch.
Okay.
He pulled up his wiki.
Who, Buff Bagwell?
Buff Bagwell.
Hell yeah!
Okay,
he was known as a fabulous Fabian.
Wow, that's terrible.
Huh.
Okay, I'm going to go with number 3, because number 3 is my favorite on this list.
Okay.
So, I don't know years like Matt does, but one year, Goldust wrestled Roddy Piper in a
WrestleMania 12.
That's right. In a Hollywood backlot brawl, which actually, considering they're both terrible, it actually wasn't a bad match. There was a lot of good things. One of them got hit by a car. I believe Roddy Piper got hit by a car.
His gold Cadillac.
There was baseball bats involved. It was one of the first matches I remember.
Matches. Like
seeing
the
with,
WWE.
like, food, involved. Like they were hitting each other with pies and shit, which is funny. And so at the end of the match, at the end of the first section of the match, Goldust gets in his car and drives away from the arena. And then Roddy Piper gets into a white Bronco.
You're kidding me.
No.
They did.
And he starts going after him. So the entire rest of the WrestleMania, they're following a white Bronco around LA.
Did they use clips from the OJ thing to do it?
I don't know if they used clips or not, or if they just tried to.
That's all it was.
It was
all it was clips of OJ.
The actual OJ clips.
Okay, so finally they get back to...
Oh, sorry. I was trying to just mouth it to him.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt your story.
No,
Go ahead and finish your story.
All right, finally they get back to the arena. Goldust runs to the ring and gets into the middle of the ring, and Roddy Piper comes up and he starts just beating the fuck out of him. Tearing him up. And eventually he rips off his gold suit to reveal a black lacy teddy.
Oh, God!
So...
Are you serious?
Yeah. So for the first inductee into the WWE wing, I think we gotta go with Goldust and his black teddy.
Yeah, that's a very good...
I'm very proud of my son, Dustin Rhodes.
Because in the WWE, there's very few vomit-inducing moments.
There's more than you think.
That was one.
My son, Dustin Rhodes, he wears teddies while I would eat pork and beans with kings and queens. Holy crap.
You do that so well.
Thank you, Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes.
Whatever.
Dustin.
Have you ever seen my son, Kurt Rose? He's teaming up with Manu and Ted DiBiase. Kurt Rose, holy crap.
That's
Okay.
fantastic. I think his lisp needs to go in eventually.
Yeah, really.
Dustin Rose's lisp and or liver spot.
Okay, so the next inductee into the Hall of Fame, it's very special and near and dear to my heart, because I was quite a fan of the Nation of Domination and certain people. You guys can.
Did we use that as our opening one time?
Yeah, we used
the Urban Show.
The Urban Show.
And I believe we are hearing it right now, probably.
Somewhere. Yeah, I can hear it. So, anyways, there's been a lot of members that have run through the Nation of Domination. Farouk,
Tama Mustafa,
exactly.
Yeah. The Rock got his big start in the Nation.
But there was one guy in the Nation of Domination in particular that I was quite a fan of.
Mark Henry?
No, not really. Mark Henry.
Nobody's a fan of Mark Henry.
Nobody's really a fan of that man. Yeah, exactly.
Or Mark Henry's mom.
Does anybody
And she was on TV too, but luckily not in the same capacity of Judy Bedwell.
There you go. They look so fantastic.
They should bring them back. Almost all of them are still employed by WWE. I mean, really,
shit. You might as well bring them back.
You might as well just hire Savio Vega and start him.
Or just use like Shelton Benjamin or something.
Yeah, whatever. He's
black. Just throw him in there. But
Kofi's black. He's Jamaican, but he's still black.
He's still black. Yeah.
I don't think Jamaican takes away your blackness.
No. Enhances.
It enhances your blackness. So, anyways, there was one chest-protected fellow that was in the group.
I want that in the opening. There was one chest-protected fellow.
There was one chest-protected fellow that was in the Nation of Domination that I was a particular fan of, especially the move that he used to come out to the ring to. And that person is D'Lo Brown.
Yes.
Now you may be asking yourself out there, well, what move did he do when he was going down to the ring?
Well, he did that one-hand thing.
Well, yeah, he did that. I mean,
they all did the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, the fist.
The black power thing.
That was another nice thing. But there was something else he did.
Really?
And I'm surprised he really didn't break his neck more often from doing this enough.
He was too busy breaking Dross's neck.
He was too busy breaking Dross's neck.
That's an important role of his.
Yeah. So, for the next induction into the WWE Hall of Fame is D'Lo Brown's head bobble. Yeah! This move right here.
Oh God, it would
Oh wow, there's the gold.
We gotta find a video of D'Lo's.
I'll put videos of all these into the blog for the show notes.
God, it was just whenever I saw D'Lo Brown, I knew the head bobble was coming soon, and
I love D'Lo.
It was a magical moment.
You know D'Lo's back, right? He's been back for a couple months now. He hasn't really done too much yet, but I'm glad to have him back. I love D'Lo.
Yeah. He was in TNA for a while too.
Yeah, I mean he's good in the ring. He's good on the mic when they give it to him, but he's He's fun. He's D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, he's D'Lo Brown. I mean, like I said, he's.
Are
that
you not down with the Brown?
I don't think that was what he said.
Yeah, in TNA, that was his thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Huh.
Dusty Rhodes is down with the Brown.
Dusty Rhodes has jungle fever.
Cody Rhodes,
Dusty
black.
Dusty has really put a stamp on this show tonight.
Dusty Rhodes should probably have been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
There's always next year, or 6 months from now, or really whatever the hell.
We really decide to induct.
Hell, we can do it next week.
All right, so we have
a lot of these. We've run through a lot of options.
He's got 2 more. I'm thinking that should be the very last one. I'll do this one. Or should that be the last one?
You should talk about that one, because I never really saw
and that one will be the final one.
So,
okay.
Or I can do that one now, and then we'll go back to you. And
we'll do this one. Okay, so our next inductee is a person. And this person was featured in WWE during the summer of 2003.
Oh, really?
I don't know how the hell he remembers dates.
It was 2002 or 2003.
It amazes me.
It was before Kane Unmasked, so actually it was 2002. And her name was Katie Vick.
That sounds familiar.
She was Kane's girlfriend from before Kane was in WWE.
Oh, okay.
You know, storyline wise, because remember they determined he wasn't ever actually burned, but he was mentally abused to think he was burned. But at one point he found this girl who liked him for who he was. Her name is Katie Vick. Well, they were out.
That's fantastic.
They were out driving around, and they unfortunately got into a car accident, and Katie died.
Oh, jeez.
Now that should have been where it ended, but oh no, not when you're Vince McMahon and son-in-law Triple H. On one infamous episode of Monday Night Raw, Triple H decided to reenact Katie Vick's funeral. Now, he was going around for weeks taunting Kane that the circumstances around Katie's death were less than wholesome. So he decided to reenact it for us. So enter Triple H.
Sounds like a good mind game. Something
you'd really just screw somebody with. And it would...
So you're at a funeral home, and Triple H is dressed like Kane. You go, okay, and there's a coffin, and there's a mannequin in there to represent Katie. Like, okay, you know, he's probably going to maybe like take her ring off her finger and leave with it. Or, you know, he might say something inappropriate or something like that.
Or even like knock over the casket. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
How about this? Triple H, dressed as Kane, jumps in the casket and begins sexually violating the Katie Vick mannequin, who's dressed as a cheerleader.
That's very disturbing.
This aired on Monday Night Raw.
What the fuck?
Triple H humped a mannequin dressed as a cheerleader. I don't know how much I can reiterate this. Paul Levesque, son-in-law to Vincent K. McMahon, married to Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, or whatever the fuck her Stephanie McMahon Levesque, humped a mannequin to represent a dead girl dressed as a cheerleader, while he himself was dressed as a fictional character named Kane.
There's nothing about that that's not terrible. There's a white
there doesn't even need to be any sort of explanation beyond what I just said.
I mean, I'll tell you a crazy story. This is one of the most infamous storylines in our business that just, like, I still get people commenting about how, like, it was just mortifying on so many levels. For some reason, he got in his mind about telling these cockamamie stories, and I was supposed to tell this story about how Kane had this girlfriend that he killed in a car crash, and it was just insane. And it ends up, I mean, I can't even believe I'm going to say I did this. I'm at a funeral home with a dummy in a coffin.
Oh my God.
I'm naked except I've got a skin-colored thong on, right, so nobody can see. With Kane's mask on, pretending I'm Kane. I'm on top of the coffin, having mock sex with this mannequin.
Oh my God, no!
Hey,
Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, and Vince is yelling at me. God damn it! Do it harder, make more noise and stuff. It's got to be over the top. And there's a funeral in the next room going on. I'm not sure. The funeral director just like opens the door and sticks his head in to look in. I like look back. I got this Kane mask on. I'm buck naked. I mean, you know, how you doing? Good to see you. He's like, yeah. Yeah. One of those things, like, I just, like, when we left there, I was like, I'm just, like, I can't believe I just...
Yeah, what did I just do?
He wanted it more over the top. Did he feel the section of the coffin was too subtle? Like, he wanted...
Well, and he's yelling at me, you know, like a lot of times, sometimes you can never win with him, because one time he's yelling at you more over the top, and then the next time you come back and more subtle, like more, you know, I do stuff that's subtle. He doesn't do anything that's subtle, you know?
Yeah, that's
wrong on so many levels.
So now we're gonna go to Stephen with our final WWE inductee for tonight.
This one was kind of a late entry, and we really hadn't thought much about it until we really sat down and figured these out. But it's actually a really fantastic entrance. WrestleMania 20.
Classic WrestleMania.
Which I guess was, 5 years ago now? So, 2003?
No, it was 2004.
4, okay. All right, so in 2004, WrestleMania 20, great WrestleMania. We actually went and saw it at the Movie Tavern.
I didn't, because I had to go to my grandfather's funeral.
That's right, you were at your grandfather's funeral, so it was me, Mike, Kristen.
Royce would have been there.
He may have been, yeah. And so we went. That's right, because he made the infamous line about you can tell which one was different by their ass.
Yeah.
We were watching. Okay, so it was Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they both wore short black tights.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, so for a lot of the match, like, it was kind of hard to tell which one was which because they kept circling each other.
Yeah.
And, like, I made a comment. I go, how the hell do you tell which one's which? I can't even tell. And Royce, without missing a beat, he's like, you just look at their ass. Because they had different things on them. You know, they had different imprints on their ass. So Royce, in a theater full of unsavory wrestling fans, yells at the top of his lungs, just look at their ass!
Does that really surprise any of us, though?
No, not
really. That's where Royce really started to become Royce,
God.
as we know it.
Right.
Royce.
So this was a classic match of two of the biggest titans ever to be in WWE.
Right, two of the biggest stars. I mean, Goldberg obviously got a start in WCW. Brock Lesnar, who has gone on to become the UFC, champion.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin was officiating the matchup.
Right. That was the other thing, is because Stone Cold was in black
wrestling
tights, too. So
yeah.
You were confused the whole time. So this is supposed to be a great match. And in fact, it was Brock Lesnar and Goldberg's send-off match. Mm-hmm. This was it for them. They were going to be out of the company after this. And unfortunately, you could tell. They circled the ring for what seemed like 4 days. Each of them got in.
Well, they were just filling each other out to see who was going to make the first move.
Right.
They locked up.
They locked up.
Times.
And then backed up. And then they locked up. And then they backed up.
Then they went to the corner.
Then they went to the corner, took a breath. Then they circled again.
I think somebody might have left the ring at some point.
Yeah. And then there was like a punch.
There's a punch and a suplex, and then like a leg lock.
Yeah, maybe. And
then I think Stone Cold just stunned both of them, and that was at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember who got the win.
I don't either.
There might have been a double count out.
Really?
That was it.
It was the most worthless match.
It was terrible.
That has ever occurred.
And that was the main event.
No, but it was one.
It was the first main event. Like how they do two.
Like they had like 2 or 3 that year.
Yeah, that was it.
Wow.
And I mean, like, they had put so much hype behind this match.
Mm-hmm. And it was like a dream match, Goldberg, who's been
when he was in WCW, he had the streak.
And he had the WWE title up for a couple months before that. And then you have Brock Lesnar, who's multi-time WWE champ. Was the next big thing. I mean, it was very akin to WrestleMania 18 when he had The Rock versus Hogan. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, Goldberg fighting the new guy, Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. And really, it was just a clusterfuck.
It was 9 days of suck.
9 days.
All in 15 minutes.
Like, I remember watching it when I got the DVD, sitting there watching it for the first time, because everyone was like, oh, match was so bad. I'm like, it can't be that bad. I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my Jesus.
I meant to borrow the DVD from you just so I could see how bad
we really should sit and watch it one time, because I'm telling you, literally, 90% of their match is them just circling the ring.
Yeah.
And 90% of the match.
And this is at fucking WrestleMania 20.
Right. People paid $600 a seat to watch them walk in a circle.
They were booed.
Oh, they were booed and shit was thrown. Oh, it was...
You had to feel bad for Austin, because he's sitting there going, oh, hell.
Yeah.
He's like, really?
So, our final inductee into the WWE wing will be the the WrestleMania 20 Goldberg
Lesnar
match.
Now, we still have 3 more inductees. These are our special lifetime misachievers.
Right. So we did our 10 regulars, and then we really want to hammer home our point with these 3 extraordinary athletes who
they were masters of the squared circle.
Yeah, masters of their craft.
Because these are 3 people that, when you really look at their career and break it down, you can't pick just 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 things that fit the bill to be in our prestigious Hall of Fame.
Into the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame of things and stuff.
So,
I want this one.
Okay, I figured you want that one. I would like to do that one. So, Eric, if you want to do the middle.
Can you do the one in the middle?
Oh, yeah. I can
okay, Eric, would you like to go first?
You want to go first?
Oh, you want me to go first too on top of that? Oh, okay.
I think you should go last. I like yours, but I like all of them.
Now,
oh look, he's got the Lesnar matchup.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, have fun falling asleep.
How long is that video? 7 minutes.
7? Oh, yeah. Dear God.
I'm telling you, it felt like a week.
Oh, this is only the first part of the match.
Oh, dear God. How could there be a second part to
God, there's like 3 parts.
Because they circled each other for days.
Oh, okay.
It was like vultures waiting for food. And then it never came, so they just died.
Okay. So the first lifetime misachievement award winner for this year
I gotta come up with some graphics for this
is another very special wrestler. I mean,
Eugene.
Not that kind of special wrestler. Okay. He may go in later on. But anyways, you remember some of the old characters like Big Daddy Diesel and
oh yeah, I love those days.
We all loved those days because that was when wrestling was really at its.
That's when gimmicks were at their top.
Yeah, and you had like Papa Shango and the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, Patriot.
You had Kamala. You had just tons of people.
Great gimmicks. Isaac Yankem DDS.
There were tons of them, but there was one in particular by the name of Razor Ramon.
Fantastic character.
Fantastic character. Now,
one of the first ladder matches in WWE.
Yes, exactly. He was kind of the king with Shawn Michaels as far as ladder matches go. They were always in them together.
Yeah. And he had very, very entertaining vignettes. Yeah. He was one of the first. Him and like Mr. Perfect were really some of the first to really use vignettes to introduce characters and to get over with the crowd.
Yeah. Exactly. So, now, if you don't know Razor Ramon's real name, his actual real name is Scott Hall. Yeah. Scott Hall was an interesting character, to say the least.
He really declined after his WWE.
Yeah, he really went downhill after he got out of the WWE. Now, when he was Razor Ramon, there was one thing that stuck out to me in particular, was he always liked to have something in his mouth, and no, it's not dick, and whatever you make.
What a good option.
But that would have been a great option.
I'm sure at some point it happened.
Probably.
Multiple times.
He always liked to have a toothpick in his mouth.
Hey, yo!
Hey, yo!
You throw it at the camera?
You throw it at the camera. I mean, that's...
And it kind of fit when he was Razor Ramon.
I did like his big gold chains that he would take off and like yell at the ref. Hey, don't fuck with my chains.
Exactly.
Because somehow Scott Hall was Cuban.
Right.
Hey, whatever.
Now...
It's a very Cuban name, Scott Hall.
Yeah, exactly. So...
He's from Scottsdale, Arizona. I mean, Scottsdale, Cuba. Whatever.
Scottsdale,
That's near Cuba,
Where was Razor Ramon's character supposed to be from? Was it Cuba?
Yeah, okay. It was Cuba. So anyways, Scott Hall had, Razor Ramon had a great career in WWE. But as all good things must come to an end, he finally had to move on with his career.
And he went to the...
They're walking around each other.
Oh, dear God.
He went to the greener pastures of WCW and went on to form the NWO, one of the biggest angles in the history of the sport.
Yeah, that's the biggest... I think if you think of factions in wrestling, you think of D-Generation X... And you think of, obviously, the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
And the oddities.
Yes. And
the oddities? The Truth Commission.
After that, things sort of peaked for Mr. Hall.
Yeah, they really peaked when
in all fairness, he did have a little bit of an alcohol problem.
little bit, sir.
Okay, so the
It was
motherfucker
so
drank a lot.
It was so much so that he decided to drink while he was doing appearances in the ring.
And on airplanes.
And on airplanes.
We missed a very important thing that Scott Hall did.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Go ahead, Matt. You can go explain
Well, on
it.
a plane ride from America to Germany for an overseas tour, Scott Hall decided to play a prank on Sonny, a future Hall of Fame inductee. And he defecated onto a plate and put it in front of her.
Now, was he drunk while doing this?
No! He was, by most accounts, sober.
Very sober, Scott Hall decides to shit on a plate and proceeds to set it in front of Sonny.
Let's face it, she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody deserves getting shit on a plate and then...
I mean, let's do in her bag, you know?
Yeah, like some people.
That's getting inducted, apparently, at some point.
Okay, so he's had some other run-ins on planes. Like he groped old people.
Well, that wasn't even on planes. That was just outside.
Oh, okay.
He just liked to do that anywhere he wanted to.
So really, he just liked groping old people.
He would grope old people, and it wasn't just one person. It was like 2 or 3 times
Now,
it was reported that he groped.
Do you consider Hulk Hogan an old person?
I would, yeah.
Because he groped him, too.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
he
sure.
he groped Hulk Hogan, but no doubt about that.
I mean, who wouldn't?
And then Scott Hall had his, at Halloween Havoc 98, him and Kevin Nash were feuding up to that point. And that was when Hall was really drinking a lot,
like heavily,
on camera, and he would come to the ring and he'd be visibly drunk in the ring, and Nash just beat the holy piss out of him. And you thought, you know what? Maybe WCW's going to use this as a way to send Hall to rehab, get his life turned around.
You know, get him back to the way he used to
clean him up in the storylines. No. The next time we see him, he's in the background of a mental institution shuffling around. We then didn't see him again for another about 6 months, and then they gave him the TV title.
Wait, so at what point did he start, like, drinking on camera as an angle?
The Halloween Havoc thing.
Okay. So
and that really continued for about 2 years or so.
Okay, so, like, he would come out and...
He'd have a styrofoam cup.
He would be visibly drunk, and, like, the gimmick was that he was a drunk.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if he was pretending when he was out there.
No.
Probably not.
No, there's no way in hell that man was faking drinking ever.
Yeah, if he's going to drink, he's going to drink.
And towards the end of the WCW run, he eventually disappeared because his alcoholism was so bad that Eric Bischoff told him either you go to rehab or you're gone. Hall chose not to go to rehab.
And of course, more recently, Scott Hall has no-showed events because of alcohol.
He did it, as a matter of fact, to TNA.
Like very recently, too.
Multiple times.
Multiple times to TNA.
He has been hired and fired by TNA.
Oh.
At the behest of one Kevin Nash.
He did make a return to WWE very briefly in 2003, the very beginning of 2003.
Very briefly.
And after the plane ride from hell, Scott Hall was let go. Scott Hall was on that plane ride from hell, and he was drinking. I don't know if any specific things he did on that, but I'm
Obviously,
sure.
he got let go.
Yeah.
So Scott Hall...
Scott Hall, you are our first induction as a lifetime misachiever into the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame of Things and Stuff.
All right, for our second inductee, we probably need to...
Actually, we're not that bad.
No, we're doing pretty good.
All right.
Oh, shit, I still haven't thought of a song. I'll come up with
We'll
that.
just play the Nation of Domination themes.
Fantastic. All right, so our second... Tom's got songs. So our second inductee goes to someone who not many people would think of as a great wrestling personality.
Tony Schiavone. Sorry.
I was going with Mike Adamle.
Oh, damn it.
Jonathan Coachman.
Oh, God.
He's on ESPN now.
I know.
Oh, God. Okay, so I mean, it's somebody who made big waves.
Stuff the road. Holy crap.
Earthquake.
Typhoon.
You got that text message from me, didn't you?
But always for the wrong reasons.
Who are you talking about?
Amy Dumas.
Amy Dumas?
Who the fuck is that?
Otherwise known as Lita.
Oh!
Gotcha. So we're gonna stick with the wrestling options first, and then we'll move on to the big one.
Okay.
So
this is good.
So Lita dating Matt Hardy.
I think we should start back at the beginning. She was training to be a professional wrestler.
Okay.
She was training in Mexico. She lived at a boarding house with multiple male luchadors who all somehow trained her how to wrestle. She didn't speak any Spanish either, so they communicated somehow. I'm sure things occurred there that were probably less than favor. So then she eventually got up to ECW, and
where she was Miss Congeniality.
Didn't really do much of anything, but she further honed her craft and developed a few fetishes.
Oh, that's the one I was going to leave till the end.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know it's the first thing, but I was going to do the wrestling.
Oh, okay. No, I gotcha. All right.
Okay.
So
she went to ECW. More unsavory thing happens, which we'll touch on a little bit later. Then she comes to WWE with S.A. Rios, who lasts a week and a half.
But Lita sticks around.
But Lita somehow makes it around. So, who the hell? Oh, Kelly.
Woo.
So Lita lasts for a while. She can wrestle. She's not bad. She's got some luchador moves. She hooks up with the Hardy Boys, which is a good thing. I mean, they're on the rise, and plus they were friends before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually she starts dating Matt Hardy, correct?
Right.
Okay. So they're dating, no big deal.
For years,
no big deal.
And then in the storylines, they have them dating the storylines.
Right, they have them dating the storylines. And then things explode. Lita decides to have sex with Adam Copeland, otherwise known as Edge.
Who is also a very close friend of Matt Hardy.
Right.
Oh, God, what the hell?
Yeah. And then, so Matt Hardy finds out, goes a little crazy.
A little?
Says a bunch of things backstage to people.
And is eventually let go from the company.
Because they figured there's going to be problems. Let's get rid of the most volatile person.
Which they decide is not the person who caused the problem, but it's the person who's pissed about it.
Yeah.
And you can understand WWE's reasoning. I mean,
yeah,
it's not necessarily fair, but from a business standpoint, it's understandable.
So then, WWE, in another infinite wisdom decision, decides, you know what would be great for the company, since everybody knows about this already.
Because that was one of the reasons why Matt Hardy was fired, is because he posted on his public blog about what happened.
And he started a website about,
Matt Hardy will not die.
Matt Hardy will not die and all this. And so, pretty much if you were an internet wrestling fan, you figured out pretty quickly that Amy Dumas had fucked over Matt Hardy.
And people were chanting, well, Hardy was gone when Lita and Edge would be in the when Lita would be in the ring and Edge, because they started pairing the two of them up.
Right.
In the ring.
Yeah. Right. That was WWE's infamous decision was, let's turn it into an angle. Let's take this very private moment of these people's lives and exploit it for ratings. Which is what they're used to doing.
So they started booing her and chanting Hardy and you screwed Matt and things like that.
Yeah. Terrible, terrible true things. And
terrible true things.
So as the storyline progressed, of course, just Edge and Lita just soak it up and just make it as terrible as possible until the culmination, Edge wins the world title.
Oh dear
and
God.
to celebrate
the next night on Raw, not on the pay-per-view, but on Raw, they advertise a live sex show between Adam Copeland, Edge, and Amy Dumas, Lita.
Wow.
So about midway through Raw.
Yeah.
They come out, there's a big bed in the middle of the ring.
Oh, no.
They climb under the covers.
Obviously they didn't.
Oh, wait, before they climb under the covers, there's Edge is standing in the ring in his underwear, and Amy Dumas is grinding up against him one-on. There's a visible chub, unfortunately. Which just makes the situation all the worse.
Right. So they climb under the covers.
Only Matt would stop a story.
Well, I was looking at his ass.
Clothes are strewn.
Well, obviously, because you got to make it look real.
Right.
You know.
And then...
there's a difference between making it look real
and it being real.
Really?
Apparently, someone got their wires crossed, and Lita's really nude under the covers. Top comes down.
And it's on camera.
So every 8-year-old boy ever got to see Lita's boobies.
Just like Edge.
Just like their hero, Edge.
And now this thing didn't just go on. Like, everyone knew someone was going to come out and interrupt it. WWE let it go on for a good 20 minutes before anyone came out and interrupted.
Yeah.
Like, it just went on and on.
And then for the rest of Lita's stay in WWE, she was there for another year or two.
And she pretty
She
much
was just slutty.
Yeah, she pretty
sleazy,
much just...
slutty
She
late
turned
on.
into the slut of the organization.
Yeah, she pretty much just, like, licked Adam Copeland's face. Like, she would literally, like, eat his tongue every time they, answer it, because he's probably outside.
Hey.
She would literally just, like, lick him every time that they came out. And, so really, the biggest part of Amy Dumas's nomination is, when she was in ECW, she became quite famous in the locker room. She kind of
Well, because she was probably good at wrestling, right?
No, because she slept around.
Oh.
With, like, everybody.
Oh.
I was an echo.
And really, I mean, it's not that strange for women in wrestling to be considered, sluts. I think he wants you to close the door for some reason.
Yeah, we're fine.
Not quite sure why, but okay. So she's kind of a
What?
What's fucked up?
Man, I'm talking to myself.
Okay, well, you keep waving at other people. So she becomes infamously known in ECW for a certain reason, and it was even in a book, wasn't it? Or alluded to in a book.
It was alluded to in a couple of books.
Okay. That she apparently has a pee fetish.
What?
Lita likes golden showers.
She enjoys being urinated on, and apparently there were multiple times where multiple wrestlers in the locker room would take their turn with her.
Oh my god!
At her behest.
Yes.
That is disgusting.
So for those reasons...
Really?
Amy...
Yes, that is disgusting.
Tom goes, really?
We have decided to induct Amy Dumas into the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Of things and stuff. Would you say the whole name?
Sorry, I forget. I have short-term memory.
It's okay.
So
we'll get used to it.
Our final inductee for this evening, for the class of 2008, is one of my favorite wrestlers. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I really do enjoy him, sort of.
I did in his early stages.
Right.
Yes, I think we all did.
So, this man has gone through multiple gimmick changes, although really hasn't changed very much since his early days.
Charlie Haas.
No.
Kerwin White.
Yes.
Erwin R. Shyster.
I'm of course talking about Sean Waltman, a.k.a. the 1-2-3 Kid, a.k.a. Six, a.k.a. X-Pac.
A.k.a. Six-Pac.
A.k.a. Six-Pac.
Oh, dear God.
A.k.a. Sean Waltman. Because eventually he just went by himself.
So, Sean Waltman is notable for a lot of things. Namely, his debut in WWE, he was just known as the Kid. And after a couple of weeks, they had him beat Razor Ramon, and then they named him the 1-2-3 Kid. And that pushed him immensely.
Right, he got a huge push on him.
Except when he was about to leave. They made him, he fought, I think it was Razor Ramon in a crybaby match where the loser had to wear a diaper. Sean Waltman lost.
Of course.
So he had to wear a diaper. Now this was just one thing, and you would say, okay, that's not so bad. So he goes to WCW and becomes known as Six, because 1 + 2 + 3 = 6.
A genius move by Eric Bischoff.
No, that was Sean Waltman.
That was Sean Waltman?
That was Sean Waltman.
Wow, another infamous.
So he joins the NWO because he was friends with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in real life. So he joins the NWO. Doesn't really do much. He pretty much acts like a drunk monkey most of the time.
Wasn't that Scott Hall's duty?
He was Scott Hall's little buddy most of the time.
Oh, okay. So Scott Hall was like his tattoo and what was that?
He's
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, kinda.
The plane, boss, the plane.
It was almost like, Scott Hall was mentoring X-Pac.
The shit plate. The shit plate.
So, X-Pac was part of the infamous dressing up like Arn Anderson and Ric Flair and making fun of the Horsemen, which genuinely offended...
There's a live sex show.
Yeah, genuinely offended the Four Horsemen and their families in real life. Yeah. So he was part of that whole thing.
But
then he hurt his neck and was fired from WCW in a FedEx letter.
Wow.
It's pretty crappy, which means they don't think much of you as a person if that's how they're going to fire you. So he returns to WWE, and he cuts a promo on his very first night, tearing into Hulk Hogan, tearing into Macho Man, and basically says, I'm here to rip ass on the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, what truer words have never been said. So he begins his career anew as X-Pac. And at first, he's really over. He feuds with D'Lo Brown over the Intercontinental and the European titles. Mm-hmm. He, I think, wins tag team belts with Kane. He's doing fairly well for himself. Then they try to turn him heel. Problem with that is people don't want to boo X-Pac for whatever reason. I don't know. He's not a good heel.
Right.
He's always been known as a face.
People
he's been a face for years.
Genuinely hated him. And he created something that will live with us forever. It's called X-Pac Heat. Now, heat, in wrestling terms, is where if you get booed.
Yeah.
You know?
Which a lot of people get heat. I mean, it's one of the heel's jobs is to get heat.
But X-Pac Heat is different. X-Pac Heat is getting heat because you are who you are.
Right.
It's not because you're a heel, not because of your gimmick. It's just because they just don't like you.
It's like why everybody hates Matt.
Right.
Nobody hates Matt because he's Jewish. Nobody hates Matt because he likes Finnish rock music. We all just hate Matt.
Right.
Gotcha, okay.
That is X-Pac Heat, and X-Pac created it and coined the phrase. Well, we coined the phrase, but
the Internet Wrestling
Community as a whole.
The IWOC created the
phrase X-Pac Heat. X-Pac was notorious for getting X-Pac Heat virtually all the time. He then left WWE to pursue other interests, namely banging China. Now, if you remember, China was the big Amazon woman. She was... now, here's why I give credit to Sean Waltman, is he nailed her after her relationship with Triple H. Mm-hmm. That's just gross.
Yeah.
Because that's Triple H's sloppy seconds. And really, I don't think anyone wants his sloppy seconds.
I wouldn't mind Stephanie McMahon 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, you want some sloppy seconds?
That's probably happened twice.
Ew.
God.
Gross. So,
out of all the problems he's got.
Sean Waltman starred in the porn video, One Night in China. Out of curiosity, I had to watch a clip of it. And unfortunately, I saw...
Got the fucking tape.
I had to...
China has a bigger penis than Sean Waltman.
Yeah. So then Sean, the last couple of years, has pretty much bounced around through TNA.
He was in
Independence,
MTV's
Wrestling
MTV's
Society
Wrestling
X.
Society X.
Generally going by the name Six Pack.
Six Pack.
That is his new name.
And you know where he is now. And I've seen him a couple times just because I can't understand the language, but all I can understand is...
Mexico's AAA promotion.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, and they have a six-sided ring down there as well.
Now, and he's down there. He's known as Six Pack, but he's formed the Mexican D-Generation X as of late.
Wow.
Holy
Just all
shit.
the more reason for him to be
Yo, Tango, suck it.
El gato, suck it.
What?
Why did you just say the cat suck it?
Ernest the Cat Miller, suck it.
That was a good one.
Fuck you, Ernest the Cat!
Now, one other thing is, one of X-Pac's biggest moves was the Bronco Buster, which is a favorite move of the female wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty much... He raped the face of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
And then the other thing is, Sean Waltman never, ever, ever changed his wrestling style. If you watch a match of his today and watch one of his 20 years ago, he does the exact same shit.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing.
Don't worry, I'm good.
He does the exact same moves, the same order, and everything. It's incredible. He's a man who has not achieved for anything higher.
Wow.
And there were reports, this is a personal thing of his, a couple of years ago, after him and China broke up, is that he was... Because she was on, like, one of those reality shows.
She was on Celebrity Rehab.
And he showed up there and was
it was Surreal Life. That was Surreal Life.
And he showed up there and was...
funny as fuck.
He was crying and wanted her back and da-da-da-da-da.
It was hilarious.
So for all of these reasons and more, I would like to officially induct X-Pac into the woojew Wrestling Hall of Fame of things and stuff.
Hey, Mac got the name right! Yay! All right, so that is our...
That is quite
our
a...
class of 2008. Yes, sir?
That is...
Do you have a question?
Yeah, you said that underneath the covers or whatever, that...
Now.
They're not done yet. They got a ways to go, sir.
This goes on.
Like,
I know, I'm just saying. He took her bra off before they went under covers.
Right, but like...
They covered it up in a way that...
You'll see.
But you're still supposed to be covered.
Well, yeah, but...
But she's not. Like,
right, but she's not. I can tell that right now.
Right, and there's a part coming up where she rolls over and her bare breast is exposed.
Why isn't this video quality not better?
I don't know.
Because the original... The problem is, Tom, is the original plan was there was supposed to be another bra under there for her. So as soon as she got back in there, she's supposed to get redressed.
Oh.
So this doesn't happen.
Oh.
Yeah,
I can go back. It ain't gonna come up.
And yet it does. They're probably not going to show it, Tom.
Because it was it was actually censored in the U.S. airing, but in the Canada and the U.K. airings, it went uncensored somehow. I don't know how that ended up happening. But
I saw it. It wasn't censored.
It was censored more. You could still see stuff, but they caught it quicker.
Oh, yeah, they caught it quicker. It went to a black screen quicker.
Yeah. In Canada and Europe, it did not go to a black screen.
Well, that's because they air porn in prime
Probably.
time.
Yeah.
So that's our Hall of Fame.
On the kiddie shows.
Right.
And
SpongeBob has sex with Patrick Day. I don't know that ever happened. Although in Japan there is a cartoon where squirrels shoot fire from their testicles.
We should get a hold of that.
They're magical squirrels.
They must be.
Yeah,
they
they
can
gotta
shoot
be.
fire from their testicles.
What, you guys don't do that?
No.
Uh-oh.
Never.
My testicles feel like they're on fire. Does that count?
That would possibly
That
need
was
to be
after
get
sex.
checked out of a doctor.
I was after sex with that hooker, wasn't it?
Both of
It
them.
burns when it pee.
So
My penis feels like burning.